are live. We are live. How is everybody doing today? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Is it coming through clear? Is it coming through clear? I am your host, American Lumberjack. It is a little bit darker than normal because let me see if I can't make an adjustment on this light right here. Give me a second. Yeah, that's a little bit better. That's less ominous. Still kind of dark, but yeah. I am your host, American Lumberjack, and this is TimberTalk, Navigating the Political Force. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate you. You say I'm low. Let's bring it up just a smidgical. Hopefully that's coming through a little bit better and not too low. Today's show is going to be a little bit different and just off my normal beaten path, because there is something that is near and dear to me that is very important that we are somewhat neglecting, and that is midterms. We are neglecting midterms for the United States of America. And as it is, I am a registered independent who is currently leaning right heavily. It would be disingenuous and very, very irresponsible of me not to come at you guys with a perspective of truth and a dose of reality to let you guys know what is going to happen if we do not do what is necessary as a people who want to see the restoration of the United States of America. And overall, I am in a position to actually present you with valid information and a truthful perspective based off of history and reality. There is no secret. I did vote for Trump. I did so 5 times in the primaries and in his reelection and initial election and attempted reelection. I voted for him. And I believe, even though I do have some critiques of this man, I do believe that he is the right choice for this season of America right now. And overall, I really want to be able to level with you guys and get where I sit down and we have an interaction. So on today's show, we're going to be discussing midterms. We're also going to be discussing what's happening with your eyes distracted on the wrong things. Because there are things that are going on right now that you don't see, that you're not paying attention to, because you are being hit with that serotonin dump and that dopamine hit with Iran. So as always, without further ado, we're going to give thanks to God Almighty, and once again to offer our praises and thanks to you, Father. Lord, currently right now we are in a spiritual war, and it's trying to manifest as a physical war, Father. And I just ask that you continue to keep your hand on the United States, Father, because I am an American and I care about our country, Lord, and our countrymen. I don't want to see any more death. And we have lost six beautiful people, Father. And I ask that you just be with their families, give them peace that surpasses all understanding, and continue to bless America to make the right decisions, guide the hand of our leadership in its country, Lord, so that we are not pushed into a place where we should not be, Father. And I just thank you for these things. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. All right. So midterms are very important. Essentially, there are a lot of people that sit on their butts and don't do anything. They don't engage. They just sit by idly and think, oh, what's the point of voting? My voice doesn't matter anymore. Anyway, it's stupid. It's pointless to sit and vote. And to those people, I have a question. My question to you is, if it doesn't matter, why are you making the statements about it not mattering? See, people that don't care about something or don't believe in something or things that don't matter to those people don't think on those things. They don't interact with those things. They don't talk about those things for the simple fact that those things don't matter. They have better things to input effort to. So what are you really trying to say to us? Are you really trying to say that voting doesn't matter? Or do you feel so insignificant? See, the way America was constructed based on the Constitution of the United States of America that was given to our forefathers by the divine inspiration of the Lord was constructed in a manner to give the masses power without allowing the masses to become mob rule. So if you feel like your voice isn't heard and the next person beside you feel like their voice isn't not heard, then nobody does anything and the system in itself collapses in on itself. Or a nefarious actor comes in and props it up under its own weight for itself. So this is when you see the twisting of the Constitution. So when you look into the Constitution, you have a thing called positive rights and negative rights, right? So the positive rights are 1 through 10, Articles 1 through 7. 1 through 7 constructs the government. Amendments 1 through 10 determine what the government can't do and what the government is supposed to protect. So your government, as they are servants, and because they serve us, and they are trustees. So we are entrusting into these people to take care of our interest, and they are supposed to serve us. These people are our employees, not the other way around. So why is it that you don't understand that you have the power to make change? And if you feel insignificant and that your voice doesn't matter, go get 5,000 other people that feel that way. Write petitions. The First Amendment, it gives you a beautiful flower of how you are to approach the federal government. You have the right to petition the government for redress of grievances. So if you feel grieved and your grievance is a constitutional violation of 1 through 10, then you can petition. To petition is to do so by way of paperwork. For everything in your life, you do paperwork for. For everything in your life, you use a credit card. You had to use paperwork to get that credit card. To get your license to travel in your automobile, you had to use paperwork to obtain the license and paperwork to obtain the automobile. If you get an apartment for rent, you use paperwork. If you get a marriage, you get paperwork. If you get a house, you get paperwork. Everything is done by paperwork. And you guys have to understand that if you're not acting in the manner in which the Constitution tells you to, then you're not going to have the Constitution work on your behalf. So if you feel insignificant, petition your government for redress of grievances. Assemble. The word assemble or assembly in the First Amendment dictates not that a gathering of people with picket signs and yelling and screaming. An assembly is a gathering and group of individuals discussing their rights and what is happening and what isn't happening. So you guys are needing to do so properly. Otherwise, you're going to continue to fail, and the system and bad actors within the system are going to continue to come in and take away things from you and give you privileges instead. Second Amendment shall not be infringed. The moment they give you a license or a permit is an infringement. But we have been conditioned to believe that this is the way it's supposed to be because of commerce. But that's not what I want to talk about. You have to have some understanding of the Constitution in order to understand that your voice isn't insignificant. You're just not doing enough. And America has become very lazy. Point being proven is Trump losing the 2020 election was due to laziness. Now, I know most of you are going to go off on some tangent and say, you're wrong, that's not why. But the official record as of March 5th, 2026 is because people didn't get out and vote. Do I believe that? That's a different topic. I can only go off of what is, not what I believe, feel, or think. And as for right now, what I see and what is not what I believe, feel, or think. You following me? You picking up what I'm putting down? I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. So if Christians would have alone gotten up and voted based off of biblical principles, Trump would not most assuredly have lost the 2020 elections. It is at the behest of the laziness of individuals, especially Christians, that the changes didn't take place and hold like they should have. Now, I digress. You have to register. That's the first step. There's always going to be a first step. You have to register, right? And if you don't register, then what are you doing? I really want to explain the importance of getting out and voting. So it's not about who you vote for. It's about the fact that you're getting up and doing it. It's not about the party. It's about the fact that you're getting up and doing it. Democrats, I'm talking to you. Tea Party, I'm talking to you. Liberals, I'm talking to you. The Communist Party, which is not a real thing, honestly, because there can be no other form of government in the United States, but there is a Communist Party. I'm talking to you. Republicans, I'm talking to you. Whig Party, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to any and everyone that affiliates themselves with some form of tribe, so to speak. I'm talking to you. The process of registering so you can participate in elections. First, let's talk about basic eligibility. The United States requires the people to meet a few requirements before you can vote. First, you must be a U.S. citizen. I'm sorry, Democrats. Illegals can't vote, and they shouldn't be able to vote in state elections. Though you will say that that's not happened, even though we have factual proof that that's taken place. But I digress, not into conspiracies. We're here to just tell you how things are. So you must be a citizen of the United States to vote. You must be 18 years old by election day to vote. You must live in the United States you are registered in, or you live in the United States and be in the state you are registered in to vote. Now, there is a caveat to that last one, because if you are of the armed forces or away doing affairs for the United States, then you can get an absentee ballot, meaning that you are no longer present or in your state of registering. Military might be PCS to another state. You might be from California, Florida, Indiana, Arizona, North Carolina, and be in Virginia, Texas, Louisiana, wherever. You might be somewhere else. So as a military personnel or anyone that's doing any particular work for a business or government affiliation or state affiliation, you can receive an absentee ballot. So that is the caveat to that of being in the state in which you registered. And depending on the state, there are many restrictions for certain felony convictions. Now, back to that constitutional thing I was talking about earlier. If you are a citizen of the United States, there's nowhere in the Constitution that says being a felon prevents you from voting. Now, you being incarcerated can prevent you from voting, yes. But being someone that carries a title of felon, which is a bond, by the way, you guys can figure out what that means later. They really and truly is a constitutional infringement. But I digress. Some states hold that, but again, the federal constitution doesn't constitute if you are or not a felon. You just have to meet those requirements to be able to vote. So because elections are run by the states, yes, Colorado, the elections are run by the states. You can't unilaterally kick Trump off the ballots like you tried to do. Some of the details can vary from here to there. But now let's look at the three main ways people can register to vote. Overall, the first way is online registration, which is probably going to be the most prominently used because, again, people are lazy. Nobody wants to get up and go out and do it, right? So it's easiest to do because you have these little handy-dandy things in your hand and you can just do those quick, fast, and hurry and get it done, right? This is usually the fastest way and the easiest method. You simply go to, vote.gov, and then that's vote, VOTE .gov, because I know a lot of people have trouble with words and spelling. I got you. Take care of you. And from there, you select your state, and the website will direct you it basically will hold your hand and guide you through the registration pages. You fill out the form, you submit it, and the entire process usually takes only about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on your, ability to read and comprehend what you're reading, which has people, whether you're Democrat, Republican, liberal, libertarian, Green Party, Tea Party, Whig Party, whatever, you should be out there helping people to vote. Why are you not doing this? What is wrong with you? Why are you not helping people achieve a goal? I don't care if someone can read. I don't care if someone can write. I don't care if they can't do math. I don't care. Why are you not helping people? That's the main issue. We're not helping people. So you can also, secondly, register by mail. You can then download the National Mail Voter Registration Form from online or go to your post office, your DMV. They can help you get that. And then you take the registration form, you fill it out, you put it in the mailbox with your Lord have mercy, drew a blank, with your stamp, and you send it back and you mail it out to your state elections office. Once processed, your registration becomes active. You're now registered as independent, Republican, or Democrat, right? The third option is registering in person, which is often the best way to do it because you have your face present for what is that needs to be done. And there used to be a sense of pride behind that third option. People loved, especially the older generation, they love to do it in person. Not that they're incapable of doing it online, because older people have really assimilated pretty well, slowly but well, to this new way of doing things. But there's a sense of pride of doing it. Like I said earlier, you can go to your local DMV office. You can go to the county elections office, whether you're GOP or DNC. You can get that. You could get that taken care of in these areas. And some agencies have public assistance to help you. Like if you're unable to see properly, they help you do this. Like I'm giving you the sauce because Scott Presler, he is a Republican. He was an integral point and did exactly what was inside and see what they're saying to these people. So not to get into argument or debate, but so you can understand. The best way to understand anything is to see both sides of the perspective. And if you're not seeing both sides of perspective, how can you make an informed decision? In some states, you can even register on the same day you vote. Like as soon as you go in there to vote, hand them your card, do this right here. Voter ID is something that's very important. So the SAVE Act is something that I want to see passed because we can forego some of those issues of people voting where they're not old enough and voting and they're not citizens. We can forego that altogether. We have voter ID. But in some places, you can register the day you walk in. I did that here for my primaries in North Carolina. It was fantastic. And they take my ID. They look at my ID, ask a couple of questions, bam, registered. They hand me my ballot. I go put it in, fill it out, slide it in the machine, and I'm having a good day. It's quite literally like a 3 to 4 minute process. I think I was in and out in less than 4 minutes. But same day registration is a thing. And if you're teaching others how to register, the process can be very simple. Start by explaining the basic eligibility rules. Show them where to go online. Walk them through the steps. Allow them to register on their phone or computer. Many community locations help people learn the process. Places like colleges and churches and community centers and libraries, these are the places that often host voter registration and education events. Again, teaching versus education. I don't like that word, but y'all know how I am about this. My thing is, what I'm getting at is, this is so important. You can't affect change by sitting back and saying, my voice doesn't matter. In the United States, you are allowed to teach people how to register to vote. You can explain the process. You can encourage civic participation. It is your civic duty as a United States citizen that is eligible by way of age to vote. It is your civic duty. It's not a right. It is a protected right by the Constitution, but it's not really a right. It's a civic duty, meaning that it's deeper than a right. It means that you need to do this, because if you don't do this, then things can't change for the better. You can't enforce the law for the better because we have the same old song and dance where we keep putting people in office that are ineffective, that are doing absolutely nothing. And then we sit back and cry about it. Obama, Trump, Bush, Bill Clinton. You're crying for nothing, and it's your fault. It is your fault. It is nobody else's fault except for your own, right? Because you're not doing anything. Voter registration activities must follow the rules by set rules by each state. They got to. So it's always a good idea to check your state election board guidelines. That is called being active. I have a friend. His name is Vance. And he had an altercation. Some of you may have seen his viral videos online, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Millions of views, where his child was pulled out of his school without any parental notification until after the fact, until this went down, to go protest ICE. He was asked to make a sign. The kid said no. The teacher said, "Do you want me to make you a sign?" The kid said no. Everybody started leaving the classroom. The kid was left in there, and he got up and just followed the group. He has been at every last board of education and city council board meetings since then. He has been at every single one. He is bringing lawsuit against these people because people aren't voting in the right people. You're voting in people that are pushing an ideology, feelings, thoughts, and beliefs, and not pushing constitutionality, not pushing American lifestyle. So therefore, you need these people out of the way. You got to do that. At the end of the day, the process is simple to register. Registering to vote usually takes just a few minutes. Visit vote.gov, VOTE.gov. The period is right next to the shift key and the question mark key on a full-size keyboard. On a QWERTY keyboard, it's right next to the enter button. If you hit the little number symbol, it'll switch over and show you all the little symbols and stuff. You hit the period. Select your state, fill out the form, submit and register, and that's it. A simple step that allows you to participate in elections. Plain and simple. It's plain and simple. It's nothing more than that. And once you're registered, do your due diligence as a citizen of your state and as the state is of the United States Union. Do your due diligence and duty to get out and learn about your candidates. Go read up on the Democrats. Go read up on the independents. Go read up on the Republicans. Go read up on the constitutionalists. Yes, that is a party. Go read up on the Whig Party, the Tea Party. Because some of these people, you look right over and glance past them because they don't have an R or D next to their name if you do register to vote. And that is one of the craziest things I've ever experienced in my life. You don't actually get out here and do what you're supposed to. Oh, vote blue no matter who. Woo, brother. And then you got the Republicans. If I go vote, it's red down the ballot. Nobody else matters because those people aren't Republicans. They're not a part of the grand old party, which is what GOP stands for. It perplexes me because you people want to make change and affect change, but you don't do your due diligence, and then you sit back and complain about it. I will say this, and I'll mean it from the bottom of my heart as disrespectfully as I can. If you're not getting off your duff and voting, shut up. You have no voice. You have no voice. You might as well be no different than an illegal crossing a border. He said that. Yes, I said that. You might as well. You're as about as effective as an illegal. Matter of fact, under the Biden administration and Obama administration and every other administration before that, with the exception of the Clinton administration, and yes, even though Obama was the commander or deporter in chief, which is crazy because Bill Clinton deported more than he did, but y'all wouldn't know that because you don't research. Even he allowed some things slip in through the cracks, and he wanted to deport a lot of people. George Bush let a lot slip through the cracks. He was too focused on finishing his father's war. So you have people in this country that are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and they actually have more say than you do. They definitely did under the Biden administration. So if you want your say back, get off your butt and go vote. Otherwise, shut up. Disrespectfully, of course. I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm so sick and tired of people that complain, never written a notice, never written a memorandum to your representatives, whether local or state or federal, never wrote an affidavit to affect change when you've been wronged. So an affidavit is to affect change when you've been wronged. When a law, code, policy, or statute has been put in place and it's caused you a grievance, you didn't write the affidavit, which is a sworn testimony under perjury of imprisonment and law that you have been wronged and that the information that you present is factual, but that what they're doing is wrong. And guess what? If they don't read that or adhere to that, which is a legalized document, once you have it notarized, they're at fault. And you can go after them legally and lawfully and civilly. But you wouldn't know that because you're not doing your due diligence. You sit behind a screen crying and complaining all day, day in, day out. Oh, the Republicans ain't doing this. Oh, the Democrats ain't doing this. And it's like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Go get busy. Learn about your candidates. Like, for example, North Carolina had a registered sex offender who assaulted several children. 7 felony counts of assault on a ballot. Now, say, pray tell, this person won the primary. And I had a friend send me this information about this gentleman. Say, pray tell, this person won the primary and then went on to go win the election come November 3rd. Are you okay with having a sexual predator in office? And I can hear the Democrats now, Trump's a pedo, he's a better. Shut up. You have no valid proof. This man was convicted. This man had to register on the list. They had proof. So until you have proof, shut up. You're no different than the people that don't vote. Shut up. Disrespectfully, of course. So please miss me with the nonsense. Get out and vote. Learn about your candidates. Learn about them. And if you're able to, go get in their face, talk to them, because you can learn a lot about a person face to face, especially if you catch them off guard and they don't have their political suit and tie on. I love catching them off guard. I love having interactions with these people. Why? Because it now benefits me to be able to see them for who they really are. You can learn more about a person by their body language than you can by their mouth moving, right? At least if you're perceptive and had discernment. Some don't, but that's okay. Our next topic, since we got that out of the way, is one that I'm very pissed about. Very pissed. And no, I'm not talking about Iran, but I will use Iran to lead up into it. You guys have been very distracted by what's going on in Iran. And I'll say this, give it another couple of weeks to a couple of months, maybe. People are going to be tired about the Iran situation. They're going to be tired about it. And they're going to be burnt out from it because you can only pump so much serotonin into someone before their body starts to purge from that, right? Before their body starts to purge from that. And I kind of skipped something I wanted to talk about. Just rewinding real quick because I'm ahead of myself. There are some districts that don't have people running for one party or the other. That shouldn't be the case ever. Nobody should ever run unopposed. So if you see that, like my friend Vance, who's dealing with the Board of Education in his state, he has several districts that don't have anyone running against Democrats. And Washington State has been Democrat for a very long time. Since the 90s, it's been Democrat. And you see the state it's in, you see the disarray it's in. So that shouldn't be a thing either. But that's a whole nother story for another time. And if one of the platforms have frozen, please come on over here to YouTube or Facebook, and you can catch me here on TimberTalk, Navigating the Political Forest. if another platform is frozen. But what I'm getting at ultimately is this: Congress just voted on a very, very important bill, and this bill would have set the release of Congress's sexual misconduct, their misdeeds. And with everything that's going on in our country right now, with the release of Epstein files, which people have almost seemingly forgotten about that too, because of what's going on in Iran, which God rest those 6 souls that we've lost. Nobody's paying attention. Sexual misconducts, sexual misdeeds, sexual harassment is a very real thing. And a matter of fact, I didn't even put, I have the video. I'm going to cue this video up before I go into this segment. I do apologize. I do believe I have it. Where is this at? If I don't have it, I'm going to be very disappointed in myself because I failed. I was supposed to get that video, but it's been a day. It's been a day. Give me 1 second. Let me look here. I think, no, that's not it. Is this it? 1 second. I know where it's at. Because I want to display this video. I really want you to watch this because it's going to bring some gravity to what I'm talking about, right? It's going to bring some understanding, because it's better to hear it from someone that is a part of the system than it is from some person that's not, right? I can only present you the information that I come across, but nevertheless, it's a doozy. It is a doozy. So just give me 2 seconds. I apologize for not being prepared, but I thought I put it in there and I did not. But I have it. I have it indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Just give me 1 second. It's 2 minutes and 32 seconds, and we'll jump in it right here. We will jump into it right here. We're definitely going to jump into this just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let me come over here and it's going to switch right quick.
Well, I guess, and
I'm going to drop this video.
The coin in the realm in the Senate is floor time. There's a finite amount of it.
All right, let me drop this video for you guys because I really want you to see this. It's so very important to see this. And let's
something like that could
mute that. Put that there. And it's so very important to see this. So please bear with me. And this will give some gravitas to what I'm actually saying here, and you guys will have a better understanding. Let's drop that one. Yes.
The same.
All right. Kill the loop. Close. And I will get it situated. Just listen to the audio while I'm getting it situated.
The same theory that Alvin Bragg had here, that something like that could be reported as a campaign finance expense.
It's very similar to what's happened here.
So, Congress has paid over $17 million in hush money for sexual misconduct inside of the offices in these buildings. And what's more is that was taxpayer money, right? The allegation is that President Trump paid $130,000 of his own money, but here in
So one more time, for those that are in the back that didn't get it.
The same theory that Alvin Bragg had here, that something like that could be reported as a campaign finance expense.
It's very similar to what's happened here.
So, Congress has paid over $17 million in hush money for sexual misconduct inside of the offices in these buildings. And what's more is that was taxpayer money, right? The allegation is that President Trump paid $130,000.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So over the course of 21 years, Congress has spent $17 million of your dollars, not just mine, but your taxpayer money, to people that they have had sexual conduct misconduct and misdeeds with. That could be call girls, that could be call boys, that could be sexual harassment, all of this. And you had some people actually vote against this. You had a list of people vote against this. You had a list of people vote against this. And I understand that it might be a little small to see. So I'll zoom in on there and I'll zoom in on here so you could possibly see or get a screenshot of the list. You have a list of Democrats, Republicans that voted against the release of the reports of sexual misconduct, right? This is your list. Republicans and Democrats, not just one, not just the other. They unilaterally, not unilaterally, bipartisanly in the House with one resounding voice said, hey, we can't allow this to happen. We can't let this happen. No, don't release this. Why would you want to put this on the floor in the first place? It makes us look bad. Don't release this. Please don't make us look bad. We can't allow you to make us look bad. Please, please. So 186 Democrats voted against the release of this. 175 Republicans voted against the release of this. Dang near similar. So with the release of the Epstein files, Epstein files, and everybody wanting to be transparent, why would they be against this? I heard all of these congressmen and women, release the files, release the files, release the files. But you don't want them to release your files, your indiscretions, because it would have hurt you being voted on and voted back in. Midterms are coming up. I gave you a list of all the people that have voted against this. Vote them out if they're up for re-election. Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. This is what this is about. You have people who hide criminal discretions, like Roy Cooper from North Carolina, who sent his little Beckin boy to go in and say, hey, he didn't know about those 1,335 prisoners that were released, of which, if you guys recall, Irina Kurtutska, I believe that's how you say her name, the girl from Ukraine who was brutally murdered, by some sick, disgusting thug that is a 15-time felon. He was in prison and it was just a revolving door because North Carolina and Mecklenburg County out by Charlotte has this little system that's set up that we can rehabilitate you. So they'll allow that the magistrate and the judge and these lawyers and these people to all be in one cohesive system. The same lady that released this man, I can't remember her name. I think it's Sheila, but off the top of my head, it's been a while since I've talked about this particular topic, and I had no intentions on speaking on it today, but we're going to talk about it because midterms are important. This lady, this woman, who is a judge, who didn't finish her schooling for any of this, because you don't need to be you don't have to have a degree or anything or schooling to become a judge in North Carolina, which is crazy alone. North Carolina has some really twisted ways about them. This woman allowed this man to go into this program. She was the magistrate that checked him in. She was the judge presiding over his case. And she was over the program in which he went into for rehabilitation. If that ain't corruption, I don't know what it is. She got paid in 3 ways to let this sick, disgusting creature walk back out and take this woman's life. And then Roy Cooper, who just won a primary here in North Carolina, I didn't know anything about it, but he used his campaign manager to talk about this. Why didn't Roy Cooper decide to take these questions? Because you don't want that blood on your hands? Sir, it's already on your hands. So midterms are important because you have these disgusting creatures out here that would do these evil things and then brush it under the rug and play it like nothing happened. But because you don't go vote, these people keep getting in. Nancy Pelosi absolutely obliterated California with her nephew in tow. And she obliterated it before then. But y'all kept voting her in because it's vote blue no matter who. It's vote red down ballot. You are foolish. And the people that don't vote at all, you are allowing that. You make up the majority. Did you think that Republicans or Democrat were the majority? No, independents are. Independents can be swayed to vote this way or that way. They are somewhat in the middle, what we consider maybe possibly potentially moderates. But your Congress had 357 people out of the 432 that are there, because there's 3 vacant seats from Virginia, Georgia, and the other place. You had 2 men and a woman, 2 Republicans and a Democrat. Glad that loudmouth Marjorie Taylor Greene is gone. Thank God she decided to take herself out at some like seppuku where she fell on her own sword, which is crazy to me. It's weird. But she was about to be found out as a fraud. Miss, I don't even read the legislation. Yeah, we know you don't. Because you're not sitting and taking the time to read 2,500 pages. You probably can't even read. I bet you there's a lot of people in Congress that can't read, but neither here nor there. This is what I'm talking about. You got to get out and vote. If you're not voting, you're not doing your due diligence. But 357 people decided that you don't need to know about their secrets, but they want you to know what's in the Epstein list, because Trump is mentioned 360 times, 3,000 or 6,300 times, 6,300 times, or it might be even more than that now because they're continually releasing stuff. I think the last number I did see was 6,800. And out of 6,800 times, not one of them implicate the man as a wrongdoer. But it definitely implicates some of these people that are the donors to these big names in Congress. It definitely implicates them. It implicates some of these people that are on these lobbying groups and these lobbying companies. So they want this information out, but they don't want you to know about their indiscretions, that they're paying for booty calls. Did you know that when Nancy Pelosi was over the House, they had drinking parties on the American dime? Oh, it's a slush fund. It's just excess. There's no such thing. You're supposed to have taxation with representation. We're supposed to know where every single one of these dimes go. Or did we not understand what happened when they took down USAID and we found out for years they were giving $40 million almost a week to terrorist organizations? Don't believe me? Go look up the congressional hearing where they revealed that Hezbollah, ISIS, the Taliban, and all these groups were receiving $40 million. In total, they were receiving disbursements from USAID through NGOs. So taxpayer money was going to USAID, which was a government organization, and they were giving the money to non-government organizations, and they were giving the money out to terrorists. Crazy. But you don't want to get out and vote, but you want to sit back and complain. So if you're not getting out and vote, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's absolutely preposterous to me that you sit and complain. But it's weird that all these congressmen were so vocal about the Epstein list, but not very vocal about their own indiscretions. And I wonder if we look deep enough into some of these misdeed reports that they're spending millions of taxpayer dollars on. I wonder if we look into this, them paying all people to be quiet. I wonder if we look into this, if we'll find and uncover some things that they might be on list of that are related to other types of Epstein activities. Now, these are just me spitballing here. You don't have to go with that. But ultimately, what are you going to do? Midterms are coming. And though I would love for the Republicans to win again, what I really would love is for the people to get up and make their voices heard. Doesn't matter what party you affiliate with or don't affiliate with. Get up and be heard. Get out and vote. Learn about your candidates. You got people out here doing all sorts of weird things. You have the Texas representative who, Mr. Gonzalez, who is a sitting congressman, who was messing around with a girl in his office, and everybody in the office said they knew about it. And then somehow, some way, she set herself on fire. That's not something that a woman normally would do. They don't go out that way. But she set herself on fire. And her husband released the information to the authorities. And this guy is saying, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm the sitting congressman. I got to handle my business. He's not resigning. When it comes up for him to be voted out, vote him out. Vote him out. Get the new blood in there. But matter of fact, if you could be so inclined, why not vote out all 535 members? Bet most of you didn't know that. Vote out all 535 members of Congress, 100 in the Senate and 432 right now in Congress. Vote them out. Put new blood in. Why does it cost millions of dollars to vote for people? I've been saying that for years. The fact that it costs almost $2 million to put a governor in office, that the fact that it costs $5 or $6 million to put a senator in office, the fact that it costs almost $15 million to put a House of Representatives in office, and almost $500 million to put a president in office. Why does that cost so much? That edges you out from making a chance or taking a chance at throwing your hat in the ring. How many well-beloved people that the people wanted didn't get in because they didn't have enough money? Which leads me to lobbying. Congress needs to make a law to get lobbying out. They won't because they get their pockets fed by the big lobbyist groups. Act Blue. They're under investigation. And the Democrats, he's only investigating it to hide from the Epstein files. No. AIPAC. We have over 300 sitting congressmen that receive funds from AIPAC. Qatar pays lots of money for lobbying. You know why a lot of these medical bills don't get passed? Like helping people out to lower the cost, like Trump has been trying to do and had to do through EO and got shut down by federal judges and not picked up by Congress because Ro Khanna actually went out and said, let's codify this EO and make it a law because it's good and it helps people, because we say as Democrats, we are a party of the people. Republicans come across the aisle and help us out. You know why that didn't get passed? Because $16.5 billion from big pharma lobbyists shut that down. Hey, if you vote on that or even let it get to the floor, we're pulling all of our funds because these people don't care about you. We found that out because they voted 357 to 65. 38 Republicans voted yes for this. 27 Democrats voted yes for this. 357 Republicans and Democrats, 183 Democrats, 175 Republicans all voted against that. It shouldn't be that way. It should never be that way. But you just sit back idly and just let it happen because it's okay. Our verse for today is Ecclesiastes 10:2. A wise man's heart is at hand, but a fool's heart is far from him. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is far from him. Don't be a fool. Get out and make your voices heard, and do so in such an overwhelming fashion that they can't alter the elections at all in any way, shape, or form. Don't leave it into the hands of the referee, as I like to say. Beat them so bad that they can't win. And with that being said, make sure you're not one that misses the forest for the trees. Thank you. I'll see you next week.